Well, good morning, knitters. I'm out very early morning. We are on a trip in the Northwoods of Wisconsin, and I'm trying to show you. I'm sitting on a pier right now. We're staying in a log cabin, and I have some footage of that too, but now I can't really see. But we're kind of up on that hill. There's kind of a stone path, and I had some footage of that too. So, but now I wanted to film and have this, beautiful scenic lake behind me, but the lighting was really off. So anyway, now I'm this way. Just know that I'm sitting on this lovely pier. Oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful day, and I just wanted to check in and say hello. And show you some fun stuff that I'm working on while I'm on vacation, and some things. We have Miss Molly with me. All four of my kids are here, my husband, of course, and we are fortunate enough to have Miss Molly come along so that she has her knitting too. So I'm going to show you some of the things that she's knitting, because she is working away. I'll start off with that. How about that? We'll jump right into the knitting. The first thing that Miss Molly is working on is this really cute sock from Knit Picks. The yarn is from Knit Picks. I think it's a spooky colorway in the Felici fingering weight, which is, I believe I heard it's discontinued. I gave this to her as a gift, along with these signature size 2 needles. And one thing I've noticed about Molly is that her knitting is really relaxing and loosening up. You know how often when we all start knitting, we knit very tightly, and I noticed, especially with this pair of socks, she's getting a really nice fabric. It's dense, but yet flexible. You want, of course, a dense fabric for socks, but isn't she doing wonderfully? Look at her. I'm so proud of her. She's amazing. So there is her sock. That's, again, the Felici fingering weight. I'm sure you can still find it somewhere. That's her first sock. So it's this Knit Picks Felici, and it says spooky in the spooky colorway, because it's a little bit of Halloween candy corn mix, but it's actually a really cute striping pattern, which I think would be cute for any time of year, because it's not just orange and black like Halloween colors can be. The other thing Miss Molly's working on is, Miss Molly, for those of you who don't know, that's my oldest son. Just got engaged last spring, so it's his fiance now. We have to say fiance, which seems like such a fancy word, but she now has a title beyond girlfriend, which we're all thrilled about. She's a lovely person. But look at this great sweater she started while we were here on our vacation. She is knitting the Louise cardigan by Carrie Bostic Hogue. Now the sun came out, so I might be squinting a little bit. I have the yarn for this pattern, and I have the pattern as well. I gifted her the pattern. She ordered her own yarn. It's an adorable, simple cardigan pattern. It's knit bottom up in the Quince & Co. Osprey. And it's going quite quickly for her. She's knitting on, we did a gauge swatch. She's knitting on size US 10.5. I believe that says 6.5 millimeter needles. I loaned her my Knitter's Pride interchangeable wooden needles. I brought the whole set up here so we could just kind of plug in whatever size she needed. I really like these needles, by the way. I was sent a gift set of these from a yarn shop in Texas, which is no longer in business at this point. But I do like them very much. So anyway, I think she's at the point where she started her shaping, her waist shaping. But this cardigan's adorable, and I think it's going to be a really fun one to knit for her and for me, because I think it's going to go very, very quickly. It has these wide rib section on the bottom of the cardigan body and then also on the sleeves. And in the sleeves it's a different color. So it's just kind of a fun color block play, simple knitting, and I think she is going to love that. She had started another sweater at some point, and it just, I don't know, kind of didn't work really well for her, so she's starting this one. And she's using a bag that I gave to her to use, and I think this was gifted to me from someone in the Itty Bitty Knits group. Maybe Patty Trish. I think. But I love it, but I'm letting her use it 'cause it's fun to have a nice project bag while you're working on a project. I'm going to set that down here. I'm in kind of an awkward position here. I'm trying to move up here a little bit. Okay, so that's Miss Molly's project, and now let me show you a couple of things that I'm working on. Oh my goodness, I'm on a lounge chair, and I don't know, it's just really awkward. Okay, oh, you saw my sandal there. Okay, so I'm going to show you this adorable book that my oldest son made for me. He's creative and fun, and he finds things to make all the time, which I love, but he tore this not cardstock, but it's like a heavy paper, and he ripped the edges. Then I did this part, but he cut the pages, not cut them, but tore the pages, and then he looked up how to do some bookbinding on YouTube. I guess he found a tutorial, and then I lined the inside with just a running stitch and some wool felt that I cut to size, and then I cut a little hole, a slot I should say, in there, and I keep my pencil in there. And oh, here's where you can see I wrote down some of Paula knitting python. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I wrote down some of her recipes that she had talked about in her, it's my summer Paula still. Still listening away to that, but I'm keeping track. But now I am writing down in here a new shawl pattern that I'm working on for Infinite Twist. We're teaming up again, and I have this really wonderful little shawl that I'm working on. Oh, I have other projects in here too, it looks like. But let me show you the yarn. This is not, I'm doing it in a different colorway, but this is the yarn. One of the colorways that Kate Carter from Infinite Twist has sent me. It's the Helix wool. It's 100% merino, I believe. Let me double check. 100% merino wool. It's a DK weight, and this color, you can see it, it's greens. I decided to go with this other colorway she sent me, and it's called Clearwater. And I don't know, the sun's really bright right now, so it might be burning out, but it is this beautiful array of blues, and I don't know, it's pretty bright on there, I know, but so anyway, I'm working away. Here's a sneak preview. You can't see it. I have it all smushed up on 24-inch circular needles, which, you know, doesn't do anybody good because it's hard to see it. But I have my 7s on another shawl design I'm working on. And then I have another shawl design that I'm working on for another company coming up, which I'm really excited about. So this trip, I've been knitting away on this wonderful Helix. So it's infinitetwist.com. She's really teamed up with quite a few people lately. I did the Prairie Ridge shawl last fall, I believe that came out. It's that out of her hand spun yarn that she has. It's interesting. She's got a great company. I'll be talking more about it later, obviously, when this gets wrapped up, this whole shawl. But it's going to be pretty. It's really going to be interesting. So that's been really fun to work on. Oh, here's my other thing. And the other thing I'm plugging away on is I'm trying to get some socks done. I've been so busy knitting for work that I haven't had a chance to finish any socks lately. So these are the Query Fibers in the patchwork colorway, the striping colorway. Here's the first sock that I did a while back. I divided the yarn up into these fun little 50-gram balls, and I'm working on the second one now. It's the second little half of the yarn I'm working on, and I've gotten far. I've gotten the gusset done, the heel flap, the cuff. I'm doing a 6-inch cuff on this one. I'm just using my free sock recipe, how I make my socks, available on my blog or on Ravelry. We'll click right through. And there we go. That's what it is. So I'm going to say I probably have maybe 3.5 more inches on the foot. And then I'll start the toe. So maybe I'll work on that on our way home. We're leaving tomorrow. And that will be sad to leave. Everybody's getting back ready for school. I have a lot of work to get done. I have a very busy schedule this fall as far as teaching and family stuff, so it's going to be quite a challenge coming up here to get everything in successfully. But I have faith that I can do it. So the other things I'm doing is I've just kind of been doing some fun things. I saved up this. I bought this 5-disc collection a while ago. Well, my video shut off, so I had to do some deleting of things. I didn't have enough storage, so deleted some things now. Do you hear that? Just when the video shut off, that wasn't the loon, but a beautiful loon started doing their cry, kind of, and I'm hoping it'll come back. I'll keep my ear out for it because that's pretty exciting to hear the loons. So since we've been up here, we're near Hayward, Wisconsin. It's way up north. It's about an hour and a half to 2 hours north of Eau Claire, Wisconsin, if you know where that is. It's kind of toward, you drive up toward Minnesota, and then you go, it's up north that way. So we're very far north. We're equal to Maine on the latitude line. We're equal to Maine, so if that gives you kind of a sense of how far north we are, we're very far north. Anyway, I did want to tell you, while we're kind of talking about nature and location, we are now hear motorboats out there. It's so quiet. So when we got here, we've seen, a lot of nature. It's a very remote area. There's a little town. I have some photos, maybe I'll share on the blog. But there's like a little tiny main street, and we're not right in town, in Hayward. And when we first got here, we've seen deer and, of course, fish. And my son's out fishing right now. We took the canoe out. But we were driving down this road into town, and there were 2 black bears, not right on the road, but up a bit, that we saw, and then they ran back in into the woods. So that was really interesting. And now here's my son coming in. Did you catch anything? Didn't go well, but I'm recording a podcast. But that's okay. You can come on in. It's all right. We don't mind, right? He's just getting off the canoe. But you were gone about an hour. No reply. I don't see any fish with them. So, but anyway, this has been wonderful. In the mornings, early when I wake up, I have been watching this series on DVD, which I saved up because I knew the internet would be kind of bad here. All right, so what else is? Oh, the only other thing that I wanted to talk about. Oh, we also saw some deer, so that was fun. I've been going on long runs on the country roads, which is interesting. It's really quite isolated, so it's kind of interesting to go out and run. You feel really alone, although there are some homes along the way. There's one sad fisherman right there. But I wanted to share some other books that I'm reading while I'm here. So the first one is How to Catch a Frog and Other Stories of Family Love, Dysfunction, Survival, and DIY. It's by one of my favorite fabric designers and illustrators, Heather Ross. I mean, just look at this on the front and you'll see why. I love her. It's really good. It's a memoir of her childhood, and I'm about halfway through it. Now, this book I've been reading just in little snippets, so it's not like I sit down and read the entire book, but it's really lovely. It's well written. It's an STC book. It's really interesting. So that's been really a sweet little book. I love her. I have some more of her fabric. But she grew up in she has Bear Run, Vermont vicinity, but she grew up in a really interesting situation. Speaking of rustic, I mean, this has nothing on that where I'm right now. So that's interesting. I highly recommend that book. You should all check it out. This book I've picked up and started reading again. It's called A Homemade Life by Molly Weisenberg. Stories and recipes from my kitchen table. She's the creator of orangette.blogspot.com. It's a blog, a cooking blog, and she's also one of the hosts of the Spilt Milk podcast, which is a short little podcast. She teams up with a man, I can't remember his name right now, but they talk about food. They review kind of one food. Like I listened to an episode a while ago, and they talked about radishes. Like their whole episode was about radishes. So it's really fun. I recommend that too. Spilled Milk. So anyway, this is a great book. It came out in 2009. I bought it right at the time it came out. I started reading it. Somehow I got distracted. I put it down, and recently I picked it up again. And this one as well. I'm about halfway through. I'm not very far. A lot of times when I'm entrenched in design and work, knitting work, I have trouble doing a lot of reading for enjoyment, which is kind of somewhat sad, actually, because I'm just a book fiend. I love reading books. So if I'm reading, I feel a lot of guilt that I shouldn't be reading. I should be just working. So, it's not good. Don't follow my lead on that at all. We should all just be reading for fun. So the reason I picked this up again is because this Miss Molly, and a different Miss Molly, wrote a second book, and it's called Delancey, a memoir, a man, a woman, a restaurant, a marriage, by Molly Weisenberg, the author of the New York Times bestseller, A Homemade Life, and the blog Orangette. So there we go. So I'm going to read this one next after I finish this one. And it's really good. I can't remember why exactly I set it down. But so that's been keeping me entertained. We went into town last night and had a fish fry. Went to a fish fry at the Angler restaurant right on Main Street. It was remarkably good. It was very good. So that was fun. And then, interestingly enough, there's a little local bookstore, and it's just adorable. They had a very small little craft section I glanced at, and they didn't have my books. I like to look and see if my books are in remote areas, but they did have some Workman publisher, which is my publisher. They did have some books from Workman there, cookbooks, specifically cookbooks, but they also had Amy Christopher's new book sitting on the bookshelf. So Amy, I'm sure you're not watching because you're too busy with your new position at Barocco, but your book is in Hayward, Wisconsin, right on Main Street in a little itty bitty bookstore. It's really, I thought that was quite cute. So afterwards, we kind of walked around on Main Street a little bit, and there was a really cute moccasin shop. I put some pictures of that up on Instagram. That was kind of fun to see. And the other thing, they were expensive moccasins. Like a pair of moccasins was $250. I'm not sure how well their sales are going. It doesn't seem like the right fit to me. But maybe, who knows? It's a resort town, so who knows? And then we walked to a very cute ice cream shop, and the owner of the ice cream shop, there are two owners, partners Jeff and Daniel, I believe it is. It's called West's Dairy Bar, or West's Milk Dairy. And there was a book by Jeff Miller, one of the owners, who was kind of a high-powered attorney and traveled all over the world working. He lived in London, and then he and his partner packed up, and he was born in Minnesota, in a very small town in Minnesota. So there is some and we're very close to Minnesota, so there is a small connection, not a small, but a connection there for this area of the world. So he moved back here with his partner, and they started a really cool ice cream shop with homemade ice cream. They had products. The book is called Scoop, and I was intrigued enough that I downloaded the book on my Kindle. So I'm going to read that book and see how they arrived in Hayward, Wisconsin, opening an ice cream shop. So the book's called Scoop by Jeff Miller, if you're interested in checking it out. I'm sure they have a website too, but I haven't been on that yet. But I'll keep you posted. It looked like a cute little fun read. But I'll sign off, and we're heading home tomorrow, like I said. Give you one last view of the lake. I hope you can see it. It's beautiful here. Anyway, bye, knitters. I hope you're well. Okay, my son was sleeping up there, so I didn't want to wake him up. All right, this is this pathway. It's just stones and kind of mossy grass in between, but it's very pretty, and it goes down to the lake. But what I'm going to show you is our house we're staying in. It's this cool log cabin. There's a basketball court in the back. Been eating a lot out here and grilling. There's the fire pit over there. It's a pretty steep incline to the decline, I should say, to the lake down here, but I'll show you that too. Okay, I'll sign off here, and then I'll come back when we get in the canoe. I'm going to take you on a little canoe ride. So this little canal is my favorite place to canoe. We've been rented this red canoe, and we've just been all over the place on this little lake, and this little canal is just my favorite spot. Leads right up to our place we're staying at. You can kind of see it peeking through the woods up there. here we are at our dock. Bye.